Hi, my name is Koty'Lechae, and I am a graduate occupational therapy student from Chicago State University. This is my sensory project titled Sensory Unlocked, where I will be discussing the benefits of sensory processing and how meaningful sensory experiences support regulation and participation in everyday activities. Today, I'm going to show you some controlled activities where we can stimulate our vestibular system, where it will help increase focus and attention in a safe way. Now, when discussing our proprioceptive system, it's another safety sensory system that tells us where our body is in relation to ourselves, other people, and our environment. The following activities will combine vestibular and proprioception working together. Hi there. While on the platform swing, a student can engage in balloon volleyball, which requires the student to visually track the balloon as it moves through the air, time their movements to make contact with the balloon, and generate upper extremity force to hit it back and forth, targeting visual tracking, hand-eye coordination, timing and sequencing, upper extremity range of motion, and postural reactions. The added challenge of maintaining balance and postural control on the moving swing while simultaneously attending to and responding to the balloon makes this a highly therapeutic dual task activity that targets sustained attention, bilateral coordination, core stability, and sensory regulation. Together, the vestibular and proprioceptive input of the platform swing combined with the dynamic demands of a balloon volleyball addresses postural control, upper extremity coordination, sensory processing, and the foundational skills needed for participation in everyday occupations. So, let me show you what that looks like. I am seated on the platform swing. My feet are flat on the floor, and I have both of my hands flat on the swing. In the event you don't have anyone to do this with, you can always face a wall and do it that way. But if you have a partner, they can go back and forth with you while hitting the balloon. So, while I'm seated on the balloon, I'm going to step back a little bit and I'm going to start. So, I would throw the balloon at the wall, constantly hitting different angles, visually tracking, making sure everything is in good alignment. My core is tightened. I'm in a mild, light lateral swing going back and forth. And you can complete this activity as much as you like, as many times as you like. And if you would like to upgrade it or downgrade it, you can have the student potentially aim for different targets on the wall. Okay? Another activity that students can do while using the platform swing would be to engage in popping bubbles. This would require the student to visually track the bubbles as they float and move throughout the air, plan and execute precise finger isolation or bilateral hand movements to pop each bubble and sustain attention to the task while managing the sensory input from swinging, targeting visual tracking, hand-eye coordination, finger isolation, fine motor control, midline reaching, and oral motor control if the student is also blowing the bubbles themselves. The added challenge of maintaining postural control and balance on the moving swing while visually tracking and reaching for bubbles in different directions makes this a highly therapeutic activity that targets sustained attention, postural reactions, core stability, and sensory regulation. Together, the vestibular and proprioceptive input of the platform swing combined with the fine motor and visual perception demands of popping bubbles addresses sensory processing, upper extremity coordination, postural control, and the foundational skills needed for participation in daily occupations. So, let me show you what this looks like. Hi friends. Our next balance activity involves individual smaller balance pods. Now, if you were to stand with one foot on each balance pod while pulling the clothespins you see here off of the platform swing, this would target fine motor strength and core activation. Let me show you what that looks like. In order to safely get on the balance pods individually, A student could hold on to the platform swing here for stability, placing one foot on a balance pod. They can then swing their other leg over, placing their other foot on the balance pod. Once the student is in a stable, comfortable position, they can either choose to still hang on to the rope or they can choose to let go. Only once the student feels comfortable can they let go and have no hands holding on. To start the activity, the student should take one of their hands, start doing a pincer grasp using your index and thumb finger to squeeze the clothespin, pull back, and pulling it off. So when you have released the clothespin off of the rope, slowly lower down and place it on the platform swing. Repeat the same action with your right hand. Pincer grasp, index and thumb finger, squeeze the clothespin, pull back, slowly bend the knees, and place it on the platform swing. Continue these repeated steps until you have removed all of the clothespins off of the platform swing. Keeping a nice steady pace so you do not lose your balance. Remembering that to engage your core here. You're engaging your knees, you're engaging your calves, working all of those muscles. Now, to safely get off of the balance pods, a student should hold on, weight shift to one side, take one foot off, and then remove the other foot.